next day, we did a policy for her for 1.5 million. Took 6 months to be approved. Why? Because she had some medical conditions already. It just makes it more difficult. So the policy went into effect after it was approved. 6 months later from then, she closes work at 11 p.m. at night, driving home. Involved in a car crash. And as we speak, it's been 2 years since she passed away. About 2 years today. She had about $100,000 in her 401k. It is still frozen today. The husband is still going back and forth to court to figure out. One court hearing, next court hearing. 2 years after, no access to the $100,000 that was in 401k to this day. They also had over $10,000 in their joint savings account at the bank. Do you know what I mean by joint savings account? That means what? Husband's name and wife's name are on the same bank account. Till this day, no access. 2 years later, zero access by the husband. Even though the husband's name is on it as well, no access. Accounts still frozen. But thank God she had life insurance. They paid out for 1.6 million. 2 weeks later, 100% tax-free. Can you imagine what would happen to this family if they didn't have a check like this? Still, with their account still stuck in probate court 2 years later? We would have seen a foreclosure. We would have seen perhaps the kids would have been sent back home to Nigeria to be taken care of by grandma. But that didn't happen. Instead, they were able to pay off the mortgage, pay off the car loans, and now the kids can go to medical school, law school, pharmacy school. Why? Something good came from something bad. That is the importance of life insurance, which is why we say life insurance is not for everybody. It's only for those who care about their loved ones. Shaded. 1.6 million, 100% tax-free paid out. Do you think as a registered nurse she could have saved 1.6 million in her lifetime? You'd be the guess. What else do we do for families as we round down? Did you know the number one cause of poverty in America? The number one reason why people end up poor is not because a Republican is the president or a Democrat is the president. Doesn't matter. You know what the number one cause of poverty? The day you fall sick. Everything falls apart. Let me share with you some staggering statistics. Cancer alone, over 1.7 million people are diagnosed every year in America. Heart attack, over 800,000 people are diagnosed. Question. If you were to start working today, and all you have moving forward is your savings to live off of, how long can you go before you start having financial difficulties? This is your last day. From tomorrow, all you have is your savings. That means you have to pay your rents, pay your mortgage, buy food, put gas in your car. Everything is based off of your savings. How long do you go before you run dry? Now, what if the reason why you couldn't go to work is because you were sick? It was a heart attack. It was stroke. It was cancer. Would that make things worse or better financially? Would it be worse or better? Now, if your answer is worse, then my question to you is, are you going to be sick one day? Is a day going to come when you're going to fall sick? And if the answer is yes, then when that day comes, what do you have that replace your income? If your answer to the question is, a day is going to come and I'm going to fall sick, what you have that will replace your income on that day. If we agree, we all will eventually fall sick one day. On the day we do fall sick, what do you have that will replace your income? Well, let me tell you the solution. If you think you're going to fall sick one day, there is only one solution. Ready for this? 1 second. This Zoom is full. If you're trying to join the Zoom, join the second one. The one whose passcode is 404. So it's open. Anybody trying to join, they cannot join this one. It's a capacity, 1,000 people. Join the alternative. Passcode is 404. So the question I was asking is, if today was that day and you were sick, what do you have that replace your income? You know what the solution is? It's life insurance. You know, many people don't know the importance of life insurance. They're thinking about death. No, if you have life insurance and you have a stroke, heart attack, cancer, kidney failure, if you have life insurance, the right time, the right company, they will give you a portion of the money when you're still alive. But many people have the misconception that life insurance means somebody's about to die. Not true. And that's why our goal is to correct the financial injustice. Many people rely on their job called disability benefits, but it will last for just 3 months, short term, another 3 months, long term, after which you lose your job. When you lose your job, you lose your benefits and your income. What happens after that? And if you have cancer, you're not going to recover in 6 months. What do you have after that? Let me give you an example of the point I'm trying to make. My good friend, a man of God, Scott, he even goes to the gym to stay healthy. He's young and healthy, a man of God, a father, and a husband. And on this day, despite going to the gym, he was just walking with a wife and children. And he's having chest tiredness. So he called the ambulance. Before the ambulance came, he collapsed and was taken to the emergency room. It turns out he was having a heart attack. But thank God he had life insurance. The right time with the right company. The first check, out of 3 checks he got, the first check was $353,000. Why? Because he had a heart attack. His annual income at his job was $50,000, 50K. Now you tell me, if your annual income at your job is 50K, for how long would you work before you can save $353,000? Can you do it? For him, he became richer. Why? A heart attack. Why? He had life insurance. So when the check was given to him, what to do with the check? He was able to do what with the check, pay off his mortgage, pay off his 2 luxury cars. Grateful to be alive and living the American dream. Question. If the same thing were to happen to your neighbor, your sister, your friend, your sibling, is this going to be the outcome? If this is not going to be the outcome, why not? Because our goal is to make sure that these things, before they happen, we have the right buckets in place. Otherwise, we pay the price of ignorance. There are 2 prices we pay. We either pay the price of ignorance or we pay the price of procrastination. I want to share with you the cost of the price of procrastination. The case of a nurse practitioner from Cameroon, making over $200,000 a year, living in New York, Le Bronx, New York. So what happened? I met with her the same way I met with Scott, and I sat down with her for 4 hours and I shared this information. At the end, she told me, Daniel, thank you so much for thinking about me. This is really, really good. But right now, my hands are full. I have too much in my hands right now. And she was making about $200K a year as a nurse practitioner. He said, this is really good, but this is not the right time. Plus, I'm going to get this down the road. I'm young, I'm healthy, I'm not going to get it now, but down the road I will. So I told her, well, sister, what if you could just contribute $100 a month into a policy that will take care of you should you fall sick? You know what she told me? She said, no, my hands are full. I said, how about $50 a month? No. I said, okay, how about you just do $10 a month? She told me she cannot. Why? Because her hands are full. So what did I do? I shook off the dust under my feet and I left. 6 months later, I'm in church. She calls my phone 6 times. On my way home on that Sunday, I returned a phone call. I said, why'd you call me 7 times? -1. She said, well, because I wanted for you to go ahead and submit my policy. I said, well, you have to call me that many times? I just wanted to make sure that I could reach you. So I submitted the policy. You know what happened? Guess what happened? The policy was declined. You know why? It was too late. She's just been diagnosed with kidney failure and she's about to start dialysis. Now she remembers me. They say when the rooster crows 3 times, you will remember this information. That's what I told her on that day. So because you're now sick, kidney failure and going on dialysis, now you want the same policy I told you. Even when I said we can do just $10 a month, you told me your hands were full. All of a sudden now your hands are not full. What happened? It's now too late. See the front of that picture? People always decline having life insurance because they think they are healthy and they are young. However, when you fall sick, insurance company will decline you because you are now sick and you're old. The best time to get this in place is when you are healthy and young, so that when you fall sick, it'll be there for you. Unfortunately, many people will pay the price of procrastination, not because they don't see value, but because they choose to wait. So when she fell sick, 3 months after, when she went on dialysis, guess what happened? She could no longer afford a mortgage. So friends came from Kenya, they came from Ghana, they came from Nigeria, they came from Ivory Coast, they came from Jamaica. They said, let's have a friend in need. They did a GoFundMe. You know how much came in? 1,100. They say whatever thing you do last is how you remember. Whatever you do last is how you will be remembered. So yes, we do remember her. 6 months after she was homeless, because $1,000 was not even enough for 1 month of rent. The person making $200K fall sick is homeless. The person making $50K fall sick pays off the mortgage. What's the difference? The information and the application. She paid the price of ignorance. Let me share my own story. COVID. When COVID hit back in 2020, I had to close my mortgage. Remember the world shut down for the first time for repairs? COVID? They told me, Daniel, you don't put $100,000 down payment, no house. You know what saved me? I made a phone call to my company, Trans America, and I said, I need a check for $100,000. 3 days after, the check was cashed. You know, many people are not aware of this, right? They are not aware of this. So if we don't share this with them, they will never know. People are thinking about death when they hear the word life insurance. No. We have to fight financial miseducation. Because this is the one that most people know. When most people hear about the word life insurance, they think about, you hear them say, I have insurance at work. The insurance at work is called group life insurance. For this one to pay out, you have to die at work. Let me tell you what that means. That means if you're driving to work and you die in a parking lot, it's not going to pay out. You have to clock in before you die. Most people don't know this. Well, my good friend from Nigeria also didn't know this. Right here in Dallas, Texas, goes to work, collapses at work. A nurse, they call the ambulance. The ambulance picked her up. On the way to the emergency room, she died in the ambulance. When the spouse went to work to collect the group life insurance, you know what they said? She did not die at work. Oh, my good friend from Rwanda in Cincinnati, Ohio, closes work at 11 p.m. at night, is going home at the stoplight, he's killed by a gunman. When the twin sister went to work to collect the group life insurance, where she's been working as a nurse for 10 years, you know what they said? He did not die at work. Most people don't know until when it's too late. You hear them say, I have insurance at work. It's as good as nothing. If you watch TV, this is the one you see on TV. It's called term. And that name for term is death. You have to die. They at least are not thinking about death. They think about life itself. That's why they go for whole life. They go for universal life. That's why we work with all these companies to provide education on what these companies provide. We are independent financial professionals. Our goal is not to choose. Our goal is to provide comprehensive education. When is the best time to protect your children when they are born? So that when it's time for college, they are set to go, no school loan. How about your spouse yesterday? How about yourself? When is the best time to protect yourself? Today is too late. Don't you find this interesting? Many people end up saying, I will think about it. And every time I hear somebody say, I will think about it, a remembrance of my good friend in New York comes to mind. She said the same thing. I'll do it down the road. But she didn't have that chance. So every time you procrastinate is the arrogant assumption that God owes you another day of good health or life. Don't you find this interesting? When somebody buys a car, they won't even get into that car is insured. Is that true? When you buy a home, before they give you the keys, you must put insurance on the home. But yet, the liar that owns the car and the home has nothing. Before you know it, you see a GoFundMe. That's why we must correct that. The waiting game is a losing game. Why do I say that? Because if you wait until when you fall sick, it's too late. You have to get a policy before you fall sick. Then when you fall sick, be there for you. Depending on how many speeding tickets, you'll not be a candidate anymore. Don't go to jail. You have to be your legal status in America. I'm going to close with this. I know this bank sounds familiar to you. Which bank do you use? Bank of America. Did you know that banks keep their money in life insurance? Yet they're not human beings. Bank of America has 19 billion. Wells Fargo has 17 billion. Chase Bank 10 billion. US Bank 5 billion. When is US Bank going to die? Yet they call it life insurance. You want to see more? Companies that own life insurance, corporations. Do you know a company called Starbucks, Office Depot, Avon, CVS? Why do these corporations prefer to put their money in life insurance? 3 big reasons. Number one, bankruptcy protection. In a bankruptcy, everything else you have is fair game in a bankruptcy, including your home, but the money in life insurance is protected. Number two, a lawsuit. What are the chances you get sued in America? In America, those who don't have are trying to take from those who have. Imagine you're a medical doctor. Imagine you own a home care. Imagine you own a trucking business. Is your world protected? That's what they are doing. Because in a lawsuit, if you lose, they come after your home, but nobody can ever touch your life insurance. If you doubt it, check the story of O.J. Simpson. Number 3, if your CPA is good, the money you put here is tax deductible. You ever heard the saying before? If you want to hide information from the public, do what? Put it in a book and you succeed. So I just shared with you what we do for families. When we meet at the kitchen table, the value we provide. And I want to introduce to you somebody special. And that individual is special in many ways. It's one thing for somebody who is 40 years old, 20 years old, 30 years old to say, I'm helping families. But for somebody who has already helped families for many, many years and sees this crusade and says, you know what, my children, I have seen it all, I have done it all. But this crusade of helping families, I'm from Kenya. I know that this information is valuable. I know that I am no longer 30 years old, I'm not 40 years old, I'm not 50 years old, I'm not 65 years old, but I see value in making sure that my community understands what the elites have been doing for a long time that we are not aware of. That's why Michael Carew from Kenya joined this crusade. And I want us to hear from him why this journey is special for him and why he's on this crusade of helping families. Thank you so much, Michael. I'm going to hand it over to you. Take it over.
Thank you, Daniel. It is an honor and privilege to be here tonight. I am glad that I am in this crusade. Let me share. Right, this is myself, Michael Carew, with my beautiful wife, Myros. And I'm here on a journey. And I'm quoting from the scriptures, Proverbes 18, verse 22. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. That is my beautiful Rose when I got married to her in 1983. By then I was in Nairobi Stock Exchange and a broker known as Nyaga Stock Brokers. And 2003, that's when we decided to bring our kids here to get a better education. I took a Kenya Airways flight headed to USA, and I knew when I land in US, I'll go straight to New York Stock Exchange. This is New York Stock Exchange for me. I could only get a job doing a prepping job. That is my apartment 807. And I also did taxi business just to bring money to the table. From there, when I was in Nairobi, I was still a real estate guy. And I realized that I can also do the same here. So I got my real estate license in the state of Georgia. I did everything that I'm supposed to do. I'm a certified business brokerage, certified commercial brokerage, and residential. This is all what I did. And I found favor. That is my firstborn, and Stella, at the closing table. These are some of my clients that I have worked with to settle them in this great nation. And I also had a very good friend, that is Dr. Kenneth and Dorcas. They were also my clients. And when I talk about the relationship, the value of direct proportion to the time that we invest in the relationship. I have invested a lot of relationship with all my clients along the way. I became involved in mobilization for companies coming from Kenya to US to look for business. I was a community mobilizer, doing it for the benefit of my country. I did a lot in mobilization. That is me. All these companies were startup companies in Kenya, and I was their point of person here. I've done a lot of mobilization even here in the US. This is the first time I stepped in stock market here in New York. That is me with the brother of President Bush, Neil Bush. What did I get in all this? I got a lot of recognition. In 2019, I was declared the Best Masuja Awards for helping our community get involved in varied markets. I didn't stop there. I went to Kennesaw State University. I also graduated with a Bachelor's of Business Administration. But along the way, dealing in community mobilization was not easy for me. I got hurt in the process. And this is something I'd like to encourage everybody in this meeting, that you'll never be brave if you don't get hurt. You never learn if you don't make mistakes. You'll never be successful if you don't encounter failures. I have encountered a lot of failures in my journey. We all have our past, we all made mistakes. Maybe we aren't the best ones. None of us are completely innocent. But we get a fresh start every day to be a better person than we were yesterday. This is where WFG found me. My client, 10 years ago, I sold him a house. He invited in his house about an appreciation dinner. I'm talking about the value of the relationship. Dr. Kenneth and the beautiful wife Dorcas, I appreciate you. You found me in my lowest moments. That's when I got my license. When I met Dr. Kenneth, I met Coach Norman, and I was introduced in this crusade. I obtained my first license to do the business. I went to Champions Bowl 2024. That was January 26th. I'm talking about the power of big events. This is me. When I was the rising star, I was celebrated. Michael Carew, an upcoming rising star. You don't know how I felt in these moments in Champions Ball. My mentor, Dr. Kenneth, it is evident in those pictures. When I'm talking about relationship, I'm talking about friendship. I made a lot of friends during the Fashion Ball. Shared values. Friendship is about kindness, it's about love, it's about respect, it's about the trust. It is the trust that made me to be in this specific moment when I was at my lowest moments. Guess what? After that meeting, everything went haywire. My work in mobilization, I had made a lot of friends in most major states in the US. I went overdrive and I obtained all these licenses so that I can start talking about no family left behind. When I'm talking about WFG connection, this is myself and my wife Rose. I'm talking about building relationship and understanding what it can mean to you. Relationship works best, but you have to cultivate relationship. Ask yourself if what you are doing today is getting you closer to where you want to be tomorrow. This is still myself when we went to Coach Noma to open his office. That's me on the left-hand side, together with Coach Noma and Dr. Beda. My wife was not present that time. This was me in Coach Noma's office. And if you look at the extreme right, there was vacant spot of SMD. And I declared that day that I'll become an SMD
Bonsoir.
in this
Ça va bien,
business.
merci.
I declared financially I'm going to win, career-wise I'm going to win, mentally I'm going to win, emotionally I'm going to win, physically I'm going to win, family-wise I'm going to win, with love I'm going to win, in my life I'm going to win. I claimed it all in Jesus' name. Guess what? When everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. That was my conviction. And I am asking myself, who am I? What is my work in this business? In this business, I have to have an open mind. I have to have an open heart. I have to have an open will. I have to suspect. I have to see with my fresh eyes. I have to sense from the field. I have to let go the past. I have to connect to the source. I have to connect with my mentors. I have to start something new. What am I supposed to do? Stop and listen to others and to what Christ calls you to do. Connect with people and places to send the system from the home. Go to the place of silence. You need to connect to your partners in this business. You need to listen to your mentors. You need to follow the path that WFG has laid down for us. I did exactly that. Success isn't about how much money you make. It's about the difference you make in people's lives. Guess what? Team of Arena came in. I told my Rose, we are going together with you in this event. That is my Rose. And this message was very specific to me. Coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success. And I enjoyed the moments. If you try to find myself in the midst of the 35,000 which was in that arena, you could not get me. I looked around and said, what is happening here? That is my wife, that is Dr. Yvette, my mentor, Dr. Kenneth. How wonderful it was. There's something that also came clear to me. And this is about surround yourself with the people of the same mission as you. If you look at this picture here, I'm not here by mistake. I purposely decided I'm gonna be close to Dr. Daniel Fongo and Dr. Rinda. I positioned my wife to be close to Dr. Rinda Fongo and myself to be close to Daniel Fongo so that I can tap the anointing. I leave that for you to figure it out. Now, these are my good friends, Gibbs, Dr. Kenneth, and Gibson. By then, I was a marketing director. The greatest value of having good people around you is not what you get from them, but the better person you become just because of them. From a rising star to an associate to a recognition, and it still continued. Success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do consistently. And that is a gift card I received that was for making over 5,000 points in March. Now the story gets juicy. When I became a marketing director, then I made 25,000 in cash flow, 25,000 in base points. I'm still talking about 1 year because I joined the crusade in January 2024.
This one, I want to just let
I have met a lot of doubting Thomases.
Those little, they are finished as well.
Nobody has done this. What are you trying to tell us, Mr. Karu? It's pointless. You can't do it. Even
Africa?
you have shown us a lot of investment around. It has not matured. But this has been my encouragement. If people are doubting how you can go so far that you can't hear them anymore. This was during my recognition as an SMD in Atlanta, and I made sure that everybody came. I invited a lot of, and some of them that you see in this photo, I recruited them. They are now in my team. You could see how I felt during that meeting. That is still me.
You want this one too? Are you done? No, I didn't.
During that recognition, and as I quote from the book of Isaiah 40:1, but they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount out with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. That is me with my rose during that recognition ceremony. I treasure friendship. These are my very good friends who have withstood the test of time with me. In life, we never lose friends. We only realize who our true ones are.
Just keep it, man.
I appreciate you, Lucy, and your husband, Samuel Korea. You have been together with me in this process. When I heard about this, you were my first recruits to put in this journey. No family left behind. We all have passed. We all made choices that maybe we're the best one. None of us are completely innocent, but we get a fresh start every day to be a better person than we were yesterday. That is me with my rules. Now, when I look at these photos, that was my vehicle. That was an accident I had. I was with my son. I was also doing a part of delivery jobs, even side by side with my real estate business. 3 minutes after I got out of that vehicle, it burned into flames. So when I reflect about this, my wife would not be having a husband, will not be having a wife, a son. And I was not protected then. So no matter how bad things are right now, no matter how stuck you feel, no matter how many days you have spent crying, no matter how many days you have spent wishing things were different, no matter how hopeless and depressed you feel, I promise you would feel this way forever. Keep going. Rivers never go reverse. So try to live like a river. Forget your past and focus on your future. Always be positive. So this is my first policy that I took. Because I didn't want, if I was reflecting on what could have happened then, I would not like it to happen to me or to any person associated with me. That's why I have this passion. Living benefits, critical illness rider. If anything happens to me, 112,500 is given out for me to keep on working on my health. Chronic illness, 112,500. I'm talking about, it was issued in December 2023 when I joined this crusade. Terminal illness, 125%, up to 100%. And when we go now to the money side of business, because I'm a business person, this policy has a cash value today of 12,321. This is as per February 10th, 2025. It also has a cash surrender value of 80,000. If today I have an issue of emergency fund, this is emergency fund for me, right there. And this is for my Rose. If anything happens to her, 90,000, up to 90%. Chronic illness, up to 90%. She took it March 21st, 2024. That is 3 months later after I took mine. Terminal illness, up to 100%. The same policy, February 10th, that is this month, it has a cash value of 12,217. And also an emergency fund like that, 8,709. We took those two policies when I started this crusade because I wanted, when I share this message, I would like to live by example. I'm working on some of others are still in the pipeline, but this was my first one. When I look at what WFG has done for me in that 1 year, This has been my cash flow, 1024, 1099, 62,000 under 1 year. And my real estate business, 42,500. And what I'm doing in this business now, helping families, I feel good about it. I'm just getting paid by just helping my families, my community. So when you look at life through the windshield, not the rear view mirror. The past is behind me. I have to make sure that all families are protected. And the success story continues. This was when I had my newest 50K watch. 9 months ago, that is, ladies and gentlemen, that is me. That was a message created specifically for me. Congratulations on becoming the senior marketing director. So this was during the recognition event in Plano, Saturday, that is February, this month. You don't know how I felt that day. Because during this recognition event, that is my rose when we entered into Plano Event Center. You can't be who God called you to be and still keep all the same friends and habits. Elevations require separation. That is me when I was being recognized as a senior marketing director. Those are the ones that I received. And Team Ebenezer became evident during that event. What is success? Success is about sacrifices, risk, consistency, discipline, rejections, failures, and criticism. I have gone through that. But what has become very clear to me is there are 3 P's for success. How do you do? What do you do if you want to become successful? You must have passion. You have a drive to succeed. You must be persistent. You make mistakes, improve, and never give up. You must be patient. There is no overnight success. Be patient. Your time will come. During that event, that's when Team Ebenezer was launched. Team Ebenezer, you connect, we'll grow, we'll transform. That is my team. I brought my team to that event during that time. That is my beautiful wife, Rose, in the center there, with our new t-shirts. And you know, I claim. If you look at this picture, Coach Numa had this award of 500,000 link crowd. You know what I did? Like I claimed 500,000 in this year, 2025. That's what I did exactly during that event. Watch this space in this year, 2025. I'll be there. I will have overtaken this 500,000. And that is my desire to do that. Guess what? Our eyes are in front because it's more important to look ahead than to look back. Don't dwell on things in the past. Learn from them and keep moving forward. This is my team Ebenezer being recognized during that event. They were given awards. You know what blew my mind away? Is that my wife was recognized as a supportive spouse. Rose Carew, supportive spouse, at the Legacy Star Championship Board. And we were both recognized as our power couple. I have never seen anything like this. Just for doing what we are just supposed to do, helping families. All my team who I brought that event were recognized. This is still about success. And why am I here? It is because I treasure families. This is my wonderful, my beautiful families. My 2 sons, my beautiful 2 daughters. I just came 2 days ago from a fun time in Caribbean. This is my good friends, families. We'll be at 9 couples for 7 days in Caribbean. That is me and my Rose having fun for 7 days. Where did I get this time from? Just because I'm in WFG. You have time just to feel good, just to treasure, to enjoy. If you look at this very carefully, you could see now my friends have started getting it. No family left behind. They could see what I'm doing with one finger with my Rose, and they started saying, what is this now happening? Said, this is what we do in WFG. One family at a time. I have looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I'm about to do today? And whenever the answer has been no, for too many days in a row, I know I need to change something. 2025 is the year of explosion. During this time, there will be 3 types of people who will be created. There will be billionaires, there will be millionaires, and there will be witnesses. Pick your heart. And this was during my SFD graduation separation. And this is what the word came clear to me. That God is saying to you, and I want you to possess this. I'm going to repay you for the years the enemy has stolen, years you have spent lonely, years you spent mistreated. You are going to have plenty of joy, plenty of peace, plenty of resources, and plenty of opportunities in the year 2025. You have to claim it. I appreciate Daniel. This has been a very good experience for me. And it has just begun. I came from Caribbean with a lot of eager and excitement. Because now, everybody is now saying, what is this, Mr. Karu? What is this bag? You are excited. You know what? I had books. I went with books even during my post-adolescence. And so everyone was asking, what is it? Retirement miracle. You have to get connected. This is what we do for families. I appreciate Kenneth and Dorcas, Coach Numa, Dr. Yvette, for everything that you made for me to be where I am today. For the many friends I have made along the way. How could I have met Daniel Fombo? How could I have met Dr. Lidan, Dr. Bida, and Queen Bida? And the many people have met for only 1 year. And for 20 years, I've been in this country. And now I know I have a family. Thank you, Lucy and Samuel. We have walked this journey together. And let me tell you, if I'm here today, you have no excuse. We have to make sure that we turn this around. Let us stay united. Let us follow the system. Let us bring everybody on board. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm excited. May God bless you all. Back to you, Daniel.
Thank you so much, Michael Carew, for wisdom. And it's one thing to be 40 years old, 42 years old. It's another thing to be 68 years old. 20 years later, a realtor making 40K a year, and then joins World Financial Group in the first year. Over $65,000. 20 years realtor making 40K. 1 year in WFG making 65,000. If you give it 5 more years, you saw where he's heading to in the next 12 months. He showed it to you. There's a reason why he was pointing to Aloysius Ikoyi, Coach Numa's income of 500K, because that's where he's heading to in the next 12 months. There is something happening here, and I promise you, when history will be written, when history will be told, this moment will be remembered. Thank you so much, Michael. Our closing speaker from today is from Ghana. He's an IT professional based in Georgia. This opportunity found her just like it found many other people. She said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this because I see the value, I see the vacancy, I see the fact that our community is being left behind, and we all should be collectively successful, because if we are collectively successful, then we get respected. But if we are only successful as individuals, we lose the respect. She said, I'm going to join in and make a difference by making sure that as many of my friends and colleagues become aware of this opportunity. She joined in, and today we are honored to hear from Dorcas. Take it over.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fombo. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Fombo, for giving me this opportunity to share my story. And Mr. Karu, that was a very inspirational story. And I like that quote, rivers don't reverse. That means that we always have to look forward into the bright future. So I'll quickly share my screen without wasting any time. Yes, so as Mr. Fombo has already said, my name is Dorcas Jekoto, originally from Ghana, currently an IT consultant, and I'm transitioning to become a full-time financial professional. And I must tell you that I cannot just wait to fire my boss. That has been something that has been on my heart, that I become financially free, and I'm grateful for this opportunity. Now let's go down memory lane. What was life in Ghana like? Before I finished my first degree, I was privileged to have read some inspirational books from Miles Monroe. So right from the word go, I told myself that I want to be financially free. And if I want to do so, it means that I have to be my own boss. So when we finished school, some of my mates did travel and others were looking for jobs. At that time, we used to make fun of it as JOB. I decided to establish my own cake decorating business. And somewhere along the line, my good friend George introduced me to Forever Living Products, and that was a network marketing company in Ghana at that time. We just jumped on board. And what actually blew my mind away was during one of those training sessions, we were introduced to Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. We also read books from Zig Ziglar and Jim Rohn, and we're like, what is the use looking for a job at this time? But at that time, network marketing concept was new to the environment. It was a bit challenging, so we're hopping from one company to the other, Greenwell, Treble, Tianchi, and Herbalife, traveling all over Ghana till America found me, and I came here. Now, when I came here, my cousin, who is a pharmacist, advised me that if I wanted to be comfortable in America, I needed to become a nurse, a pharmacist, or a PA. But then I just asked him one simple question. He said that I should become a pharmacist like you. You are always complaining about your student debts, number one. Always complaining that you don't have time to rest, time for the family. And you were always complaining about money. So what is the sense in me also doing the same? So why don't we find me something that for me, I want to do from Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, work wherever I want to all over the world and still make money. Whilst I also established my business, because it was always at the back of my mind that if I wanted to be financially free, then I needed to be my own boss, right? So whilst trying to figure out what to do, I did living. I was doing buying and selling. You know how that feels like. I'll buy stuff here, send them over to Ghana for them to sell for me. And I was also doing absentee farming. What is absentee farming? You'll be in the United States here, and you have a farm in Ghana. And you not being there, it was very challenging. So I eventually settled on a master's degree in project management and information security. And I did all the certifications that I needed to do. So when I finished school, I landed my first IT job. I was like, hooray, now I have the American dream. Then I was like, okay, this is it. I need more money because I want to retire early as well. So one day I was just like, all these are not going to solve my problem. Meanwhile, I also want to have a comfortable retirement. It got to some point as if my head was coming off my neck. Now look at me. When I landed in America, that is me when I graduated. And that is me when I started my IT job. You might think that, oh, she's smiling, but look at my eyes. So it got to a point that they had to, that was last year, they had to put a Holter monitor on my heart. And the doctor was like, my lady, there's nothing wrong with you. Just go home and rest. You just need the rest. And that was when these beautiful women, Mrs. Perfect Atima and Mrs. Comfort Ayamda, invited me to Dr. Benedict Jenfi's presentation. And trust me, I asked a lot of questions, but I was like, this is it. But because of my network marketing background, I really needed to understand this first, because network marketing is very challenging. And I was convinced, it told me that it's not network marketing. I was like, okay, that is good. But Dr. Dujanfi said something. Doctors, I believe in you. I know you can do it. I know you will succeed. I said, voila, no problem. If somebody believes in me here, I'm going to do this. So I registered, I studied, I passed my exam. I did my life and the health. But then I said that if I'm going to talk to somebody about a product, how can I come to somebody and tell them that this orange is sweet, meanwhile I've never tasted it? So I got my $1 million coverage. Now look at what is happening here. I was so thrilled because number one, it was going to bypass the probate court, right? And also anytime I needed cash, I could fall on that. The living benefits superb. If anything, God forbid, but anything happens to me today, critical illness, chronic illness, terminal illness, I get a portion of it. And today, if I close my eyes and I'm no more around, my dependents are not going to be found wanting. And that is the beauty of WFG. But guess what? Last year, my SMD encouraged me, that is Madam Sophia Apia, encouraged me to attend the Atlanta program. And when I went there, I was like, are all these people real? I saw Mr. Fumbo, Linda Fumbo, I saw Dr. Ruth and all those wonderful millionaires. People making hundreds and thousands of dollars. And I was like, if all these people have the same color like me from Africa, have the same blood running through our veins, then why shouldn't I do this? So I came back, pumped up, fired up, super excited. And honestly, I just love that slogan. Now let's look at what is happening here. When I got my license last year, I started this business steadily, doing this part-time. And luckily enough, I have this W2, same number of months as WFG. Now look at this. Assuming that I'm doing this Monday to Friday, 6 to 7 months, and I'm making $85,000 here. And WFG, same duration of months, and I'm making $54,000. And that is about 40 hours a month. If I'm making 54,000, 6 to 7 months, just doing this part-time, 40 hours a month, what is the point in continuing to be an IT consultant? I know it's a transitioning period, right? And I know I want to retire early. For all you know, nobody knows the plans yet, right? But a year by now, who knows, maybe I would have fired my boss, but we shouldn't tell them yet, right? Now, let's see. Was it this year? I was in Dallas for the Champions Super Bowl. And I was recognized. I had my first 50K, so excited. But then, Mr. Fumbo has a sense of humor, you know. During our lunch break, he said that those making over 250K were going to be having a VIP lunch treatment. And the rest of us with the poor paychecks, we should go to the masses. We should just join that long queue. We just laughed. My teammates and I were just laughing. But honestly, it was also very motivational for me that, okay, next year, by this time when we meet, I'm going to prove Mr. Fumbo wrong. I'll be part of the VIPs. And these are my teammates, the Royal Eagles teammates. We are doing great. We love our leaders. And there were about 5 of us who were recognized as marketing directors. I remember my last IT job. I got a Spotlight Award, and I was given $100 gift card. WFG, everything you do, you are recognized. Last year, Atlanta Elevate program, I got a Rising Star. And the beauty of this is, the more you work, the more you travel. So more or less, you are having fun, impacting lives, making money, and traveling. How cool can this be? Now, somebody might ask, so after all this, why WFG? After going to school, all these certifications and all that, Africans are known to go to school a lot. We love all the big titles. But I keep asking myself, all these big titles don't give me the millions that I want. At least I know that I can become financially free so that I can champion my mission of helping orphans and the underprivileged pregnant women in the remote places in Ghana, especially in the villages. And I also got to understand that in WFG, you work hard, build an agency. Even when you die and you're no more, you can will this to your children. Now ask yourself, wherever you are working right now, are you able to will that position to your children? if you close your eyes into eternity today? Are you able to will all the certifications to your children if you leave this earth today? The answer is a big no, right? But what really comes home to me, that gives me all the passion that I have today, is that concept of leaving no family behind. This is so close to home, and I'm going to tell you 3 stories. The first one is about my auntie, living in Maine at the moment. She and her husband are all retired. And unfortunately, they never heard about this wonderful opportunity. My auntie had a liver problem coupled with kidney issues. She's now on dialysis, fighting for her life. They were living comfortably till this illness set in. 2 retirees, what would they do? They sold their home. And now living in a 1-room apartment. It always makes me sad anytime I'm talking about this. She told me that, Dorcas, I wish I had known about this opportunity. My story would have been different. That is why we shouldn't be sitting on the fence. Why? Somebody's protection is in your mouth. Somebody's financial freedom is in your mouth. Why are you still sitting on the fence, closing your mouth? Why have you come for these presentations over and over again, but you've not taken action? My dear brother, my dear sister, on this Zoom meeting right now, it is not just about you. That is why this crusade is so powerful. But guess what? I also have a prospective client. I spoke to my friend about this opportunity last year. Guess what? As of the time we are speaking right now, he's still not bought his policy yet. He rather introduced his friend to me. What did I do? I booked the appointment with him. He kept postponing. You know, they said procrastination is the thief of time. And for privacy reasons, I'm not able to show their pictures. But these stories mean a lot to me. In December, I traveled. For Christmas, I came back. And my friend told me, Dorcas, you know what is happening to PJ? PJ is at the hospital on a ventilator fighting for his life. And I was like, why? He had a stroke. 62-year-old man. So you see the difference between my auntie's situation and this man's situation. He heard about it. He didn't take action. My auntie didn't hear about it. How sad can this be? And what even breaks my heart the more is one of my teammates in North Carolina here. She heard about this story. She heard about this story, took her exam, and she was so passionate about rather helping people. When are you going to take your coverage? She never did. She was doing this part-time. She even had 4 clients set up so that she would do the presentation for them to get policies. She had gone for a regular job, getting ready for the next one. She wasn't sick, nothing. She died. We always talk about this in the team. And that is why we are so passionate that we are never going to leave anybody behind. But there are so many of us agents on this platform right now. We have registered. We have not written our exams yet. Some of us have written our exams, have applied for our licenses. And we want to get the money first before we can get our coverage. So assuming even if my auntie, the prospective client, PJ, and our teammates, if they even had $100,000 policy, even if you even get a policy that you even pay $50 a month, $100 a month, that will go a long way. You are better off having nothing. Because what? They said a half a loaf is better than no bread. Why are we still waiting? You don't have to wait till you go for $1 million policy. No. Everybody's situation is different. Go for something small for now. Put in your all. Work hard. And in due season, you can always take another policy. As Mr. Fombo says, the waiting game is always a losing game. But guess what? We've always been praying, hoping against hope, that one day we will get an opportunity to realize our American dream. Trust me, the American dream is not a job. No. 10 years ago, you were saying that one day I'll be rich. 5 years ago, 3 years ago, even last year, you said it. One day I'll be rich. Oh God, bring an opportunity my way. The opportunity is now. Today is yesterday's future. I love this quote by Zig Ziglar that was cited by Mr. Fombo in one of our trainings. He said, entrepreneurship is living a few years of your life like most people won't, so that you can spend the rest of your life like most people can't. Are you willing to even spend 10 hours a week? And that is what I'm doing right now. And gradually I'm going to be increasing it. Are you willing to sacrifice just 6 months, a few years of your life, so that you can live the rest of your life comfortably? For me, I see these millionaires, and even I do 2 IT jobs, 3, 4. I cannot even save $1 million by the time I reach 65. So why the hassle? Let us take charge. And when we went for the convention at the Champions Bowl, I heard this quote again, and I've forgotten the name of the speaker. The speaker said, we are born looking like our parents, but we die looking like the choices we made. How do you want to end? Let us sacrifice today as we are making impact. That is the beauty of this whole crusade. As we are helping families, we are also having fun. We are building very good relationships. Your wealth is always going to be your future. Now, let me just say this. I just love this quote from John Quincy Adams. It says, if your actions inspire others to dream more, do more, and become more, then you are a leader. Dr. Benedict Mfi, I'm so grateful for your great leadership. Madam Sophia Pierre, I appreciate you every day. And Mr. Donald Fumbo, so grateful for your great leadership. You are such an inspiration. And for all the leaders in Royal Eagles, you are so much cherished. And we cannot wait to get to the top. Thank you so much for your attention, good people. And the next year we meet like this, I know all of us will be the fire burning. Thank you so much for your attention.